Hi, Michelle Patient back again from Talking Family History. Just wanting to go over the various changes and updates, mostly cosmetic, that have happened at the Ancestry website. Hopefully you've watched part 1, the overview. This is part 2, DNA. I'm a bit of a geek, so sorry for the pretty picture if you don't like it, but I remember making those at school and at university. But I digress. This is how the website used to look before the changes, and your help was either in the top drop-down menu bar, or if you clicked on those question mark areas in the placards for each aspect of your DNA story, your matches and your through lines. This is what the site looks like now. The help is still there, but the eagle eyes of you will notice that the middle question mark, and just to show you closer on the DNA Matches tab, is no longer there. You may be familiar with what it used to look like, and you might have regularly gone here. And I know I certainly used to go to the matching white papers to read the nitty-gritty details. So how can you find this again? Well, it's all very sensibly done, as you'll see in a minute. So just click on the help at the top in the drop-down menu, and you'll get a page like this. And there's lots of information here, but there's a whole section just devoted to DNA. Click on that. The header will change to being blue, and there are lots and lots and lots of help information here, far more than we could have expected any web developer to fit on a page, as we were looking at previously. Always, when you come to a new page, please remember to read the whole screen before you click on anything, and don't forget to scroll down, because if you scroll down, you'll find now there's a lot of information about your tests and sharing and learning more. There are over 20 articles about test results, an extra 16 lots of information and how to learn more. So far too much to put on a single screen. So way to go, there's lots of help for you to read and digest. But if you want to get into any of it quickly, what are you going to do? Well, the good thing is, right up the very top, you can click in that area where the search is, and it will search within the AncestryDNA help files. And because I like white papers, I used to type the word white, and you even get a drop-down menu so that you're getting exactly how it has been indexed by Ancestry, so you easily find things. Really like that improvement. The other thing some of you might have noticed is a larger chat bubble for help down the bottom left. And when you click on that, you can either talk to a robot, an email, or for those of us that like picking up a telephone, that free phone number will be much easier to find. But what about the DNA page? Well, here's my DNA matches. I have my mother's permission to show her name to all of you. Everything looks pretty much the same. The buttons have gone rounded into what they've called the pill shape. And if I click on trees, it still looks like trees. And if I click on shared DNA, I can still segment and filter using those different radio buttons. I can still go and look at my groups, so nothing there has changed. I can still even go over to the right-hand side there and use search and sort. The search facilities are the same, where I can search by username, a surname in a tree, or a birth location in a tree. And if I just want to find who's been new in my match list, I can always change the sort to date. So I see the latest people at the top. And that's just different to the unview button on the left. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that the common ancestor logo used to be a shaky leaf hint, has changed to a group of people. It's your common ancestors like you and the other mob that you get the DNA from. I've heard a few people call it the bear paw. Whatever you choose to call it, they've just changed the icon. Cosmetically looks a bit different. But I'm wondering how many of you have noticed that the map tab exists. Because if you click on that, this is what you used to get. This is where your matches have said they live around the world. There's only been a minor change, and the minor change is if you don't have a location, Ancestry will prompt you to add yours so you too can join the ease of finding where people live that are near you that carry the DNA, or specific locations that you're interested in. So you might want to think about adding that to your profile. And what changes have happened with the DNA match? Well, in the past, my Mr. Smith match was shown through this common couple, and you'll notice in the right Samuel and Anne with the green lines around them, which were very challenging and hard for people to see at times. And so there's been a few changes. So let's have a look at those. Firstly, if I haven't already built out a tree and linked this person to a tree, you'll see two pill-shaped buttons, add relationship and message. If I add the relationship and connect them to my tree, this icon here of a pedigree chart, plus, that's where I need to click on it, will turn into a solid, and it will remove once I've actually edited Mr. Smith into the tree. The other thing you need to click on, though, that has a minor change is where it says the amount of DNA you share. In the past, if you clicked on that, you got all the help information at the top, and you'd have to close that small arrow before you saw your relationships. In the update and the cosmetic changes, now when you click on the 102 centimorgans blue link, it shows me all the relationships that are possible for that amount of shared DNA. If I scroll down, it's easy to see them all, and even notice that I have a couple of more. I could click on that and see every relationship. Since they added this relationship tool feature where we add the pedigree chart and it changes to show we've linked them to our tree, I'm surprised how often on some branches of my family, I'm down here in the weeds in the smaller percentage relationships rather than the highest percentage. So it's really good to be able to see all the places that are hints to me of where to look for this relationship based on the amount of DNA we share. But if I go back up to the top, how do we find that help information again that we had in the old screen? If you haven't read it before, do click this drop-down arrow, and then you will see all the information explaining how the company estimates its relationships. Next, there's been some cosmetic changes at through lines. Same as before, this is the icons that the solid postcard images are people in my tree. The dotted line that are not showing as male and female blue and pink colours and showing as green, they're not in my tree, they're a hint. We get more real estate now. So the good thing is with the new version, you won't have to scroll quite so far down the page to go through all this information. And they're colour coordinated. So where we had the blue bar across for our general matches information and the help, here we go, and we've gone to kind of a maroon colour. And so this is a new through line that's appeared since I did the last talk on this. In the same place, click evaluation, and I'll get a link down the side of anybody's DNA that might be attached at that level, directly descended from that level, or in the trees, and you'll see here, not everyone has got her in their tree, but by combining all the various pieces of information, it looks like it might be that Jesse's mother is Jemima. So it's a hint, not a fact, something to investigate. And there's lots of trees there to check out. This is how it used to look in the old days. And you can see my Hatfield family did a lot of DNA testing, so they're there quite a bit. But the interesting thing is that when I look at the new one, I have a new person to evaluate. So that's been really exciting change just in about 6 months. So they're still updating the through lines pretty much every 24 hours, which is great. So we're always going to be able to come in and check. And I suggest to most of you, you want to come in maybe once a month and check it out. And sometimes your people have added a photo that wasn't there before, and you'll see Cousin Graham's now put a photo in. So he's still working on. The eagle eyes of you will already know where feedback is, but guess what? It's up there in the corner. So just a reminder with all these changes, if you're having trouble or you want to say thank you because at last I can do X, Y, Z, that's where you give your feedback. So thanks very much for joining this video today. I hope this helps you understand some of the changes, and they're all minor and cosmetic pretty much at DNA, where you can find the help. And if you want to know more about myself and my colleague Fiona, please join our mailing list. And we also have a yearly subscription to our regular talks and presentations. Thank you for watching. Bye.